Al-Hasan al-Basri, rahimahullah ta'ala, from the great Imams of the Tabi'een, he said, Wallahi, la yastaqimu ad-din illa bi wulati al-amri. That the deen will never be upright except through the uprightness of the rulers. وَإِنْ جَارُوا وَظَلَمُوا. Even if they were oppressive, and even if they oppressed and harmed. Wallahi, لَمَا يَصْلُحُ اللَّهُ بِهِمْ أَكْثَرْ مِمَّا يُفْسِدُونَ. The meaning of it in English is that Allah Azza wa Jal, even with their oppression, even with the harm that they will do, that Allah Azza wa Jal will cause correction and cause rectification through them much more than the harm and the oppression that will come from their sins. This was collected in Jami' al-Ulum wal-Hikam, or mentioned by Ibn Rajab in Jami' al-Ulum wal-Hikam. And Ibn Rajab said, rahimahullah ta'ala, that hearing and obeying the leaders of the Muslims has in it happiness or salvation for the dunya, and in it all, or through, by way of it, all of the needs of the creation, or all of the needs of the people in their daily lives, and what they need to establish their deen openly will be established, and also everything they need to worship their Lord will be established by way of cooperating and working under the rulers of the Muslims, and going against the rulers of the Muslims and rebelling against the rulers of the Muslims, and trying to challenge their leadership with an armed takeover, or with other methods like this, is disobedience, and going against Allah and His Messenger, and going against that which Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah were upon. So then the obligation is to be patient upon the obedience of Allah, and to give or to obey, to hear and to obey the rulers of the Muslims even while they are oppressive. And Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah ta'ala, who it's common that you find the people, this is from me, this comment, it's common you find the people who follow the methodology of the Khawarij, who always, they make the focus of their speech the rulers and how we have to rebel against them. You find them quoting Ibn Taymiyyah often, claiming that Ibn Taymiyyah is with them on their madhab. Listen to these words from Ibn Taymiyyah. الصبر على جور الأئمة على جور الأئمة أصل من أصول أهل السنة والجماعة. Being patient in the face of the oppression of the leaders of the Muslims is a pillar or a foundational principle from the principles of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. Again, الصبر على جور الأئمة أصل من أصول أهل السنة والجماعة. Being patient in the face of the oppression of the Muslim leaders is a principle from the principles of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. In his Majmu' al-Fatawa, volume 28, 179. And this is the reality. And this is the affair of the Muslim, that he's patient with the disobedience of the Muslim rulers. And he does not take that as an opportunity to rebel and to rouse the people, to encourage them to rebel and to challenge the authority of the Muslims. And the Prophet ﷺ said on the authority of Tamim ibn Aus ad-Dari, radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, that the Prophet ﷺ said, ad-deenu nasiha, religion is sincerity and sincere advice. قُلْنَا لِمَنْ, we said, to whom is this sincerity due? قَالَ لِلَّهِ وَلِكِتَابِهِ وَلِرَسُولِهِ وَلِأَئِمَّةِ الْمُسْلِمِينَ وَعَامَّتِهِمْ. That this deen is sincere advice, and it's due to Allah. Sincerity is due to Allah, and it's due to the book of Allah, and it's due to the sunnah of the Prophet, it's due to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and it's also due to the leaders of the Muslims and the main body of Muslims themselves, the common Muslims. And it's come in the hadith which we have started our talk with, ثَلَاثٌ لَا يُغِلُّ عَلَيْهِنَّ قَلْبُ مُسْلِمٍ. Three things no Muslim heart should be too proud to follow or to be upon. Al-amal lillahi, to do things, ikhlasul amal lillah, to do work sincerely, to do the deeds sincerely for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, wa munasahatu a'immatil muslimin, and to mutually advise the leaders of the Muslims, wa luzumu jama'atihim, and to stick to their jama'ah. فَإِنَّ الدَّعْوَةَ تُحِيطُ مِنْ وَرَائِهِمْ. As we mentioned, the supplication will be responded, the supplication of the jama'ah for the leaders will be answered. And this, the meaning of this hadith are these three things that we have been discussing today as our three main principles of Salafiyah. The first we have discussed, and the second now our discussion now comes to a close about the importance of hearing and obeying the Muslim leaders. And in the book there is much more discussion on this topic. We'll now go to the third and final principle, and that is to be aware and to be warned against innovations and innovators. And that is from the most foundational affairs of Islam.